the show. They've been great. And let me introduce my two guests. That Redskins legend, Dexter Manley, is back. This is his fourth time on Burgundy Gold Magazine. Thank you very much, Dexter. Dexter's always been a great help to me. Always been there for my literary endeavors and so forth. Also, Scott Jackson from ESPN 980.
Tough to come after Dexter.
What's that?
That's tough to be introduced after Dexter. Yeah?
I know, but host of Inside the Locker Room. Now, I do have to say that this is Scott's first time, so we got to take it easy on him, all right?
Please do.
Yeah, well, it all depends.
All right, well, it's a new era in Redskins history. We've got Robert Griffin III as quarterback. That's the primary topic right now. We have to determine if this guy is going to be the franchise quarterback that the Redskins have needed for so long. By my calculation, the Redskins have gone through 20 quarterbacks since Joe Theismann. I mean, I know it's unbelievable, but I look at Theismann as the last true franchise quarterback of the Redskins. 20 quarterbacks. Now we've got Griffin. He's gone through the preseason. His numbers I think, are decent. Where do you guys see him right now?
Two touchdowns and no interceptions.
No interceptions, no picks at all.
That's right.
Yes, he did. Well, you know, you made an introduction here. You talked about it's in 20 years. You know, for some reason, the Miami Dolphins have the same record as the Redskins. They've been looking for quarterbacks about 20 years too. And so I think that they have found him a good quarterback. I think a guy who's consistent and a guy who can really process the game. Mm-hmm. Most guys can't process the game. I'm impressed with that part of his game.
What do you say, Scott? What are your first impressions of him? Let me just throw out a few numbers preseason. 20 of 31, 193 yards, 2 touchdowns, like we said. Right. No picks, and a quarterback rating of 103.3. I mean, that's pretty good for a preseason.
I think they kind of held him back, which is fine. You know, if you're a veteran, I just hope it doesn't hurt him when the regular season starts. They didn't show a lot of stuff. They did try to air it out a little bit more against the Colts. But you see Luck, I mean, they let him do everything in preseason. And you look at a guy like Russell Wilson out there with Seattle, they let him do more. So the Redskins a little bit more conservative with RG3, maybe because the offensive line's been beat up and the running back situation's been unsettled. But, I mean, you got to love everything about the kid. I mean, I was talking to Bill Polian last week, who scouted RG3 and Andrew Luck, and he handed it to Jim Irsay and said, either one of them can't miss. Mm-hmm. So, you know, take your pick. You can't go wrong with either one of these guys. Robert's got an amazingly quick release. You saw it on that touchdown pass against the Colts. And actually, Polian had compared it to Marino, which obviously that's the gold standard in terms of quick releases. So, I mean, I like everything I see from the kid. You hear about him, very mature, wants it all. He wants to be the leader. He wants the limelight. And
got the charisma.
Yeah, got the charisma off the charts. Hopefully they just put the team around him and obviously groom him and be patient with him, too, because there are going to be some bumps in the road. He's still a rookie. I mean, it's not going to be easy for him.
In terms of the smarts, I really think he has it.
Oh, absolutely.
I know it's going to take a lot of development. They're in the early stages right now. But I think he does have what it takes. Most rookie quarterbacks struggle. I mean, we shouldn't be anticipating too much from him in his rookie season. But I think over time, he's going to be a really good, if not great, quarterback. And even Shanahan said during training camp, preseason, that it's going to take about 3 years for him to learn the system.
Well, what I was impressed with last week is that he had the ability to escape, but he stayed in the pocket. I think he's more conscious about being a pocket passer versus a guy who want to use his legs and pick up a first down, because those guys, once they get outside the tackles, they don't last 16 games.
Right.
And so I think this guy is very conscious of standing in the pocket and being more developed quarterback in the pocket. I think he can get that done.
Well, I think that's going to be imperative that he stay in the pocket. Yeah. He's not going to be able to use his legs as much as he did in college.
Sure.
He's not Cam Newton size. I mean, Cam Newton's as big as Dexter, if not bigger. But I mean, RG3 is a thinner guy. I mean, he's a strong guy, but he's not the Cam Newton size. He's just freakishly big for a quarterback.
Right, but he is bigger than Michael Vick.
Yes, he's bigger than Michael Vick.
Give him that. But he's going to have to develop that pocket presence, and I think he's on the way to doing that right now. I mean, he seems to understand that he's not going to be able. Yeah. He will make plays with his legs.
Sure.
But it's not going to be as much as what he did in college.
Well, I will say this, that this guy going to need help. He's going to need help at receivers, going to need help at definitely the offensive line. But more importantly, you got to have a strong defense front seven. You know, if the defense is aggressive, that means the offense could be more aggressive. They could take chances. They have such a great defense. If they don't have a great defense, I think they got to target at least be in the top 5. They can be in the top 5. Redskins look like they can win 10 football games.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about 10. I mean, I think that's
10.
going a little far.
Yeah, well, you're not a diehard.
Yeah.
You probably
coming from. You know I'm a diehard Redskins fan. I'm like an eternal optimist when it comes to the Redskins, and I'm not saying 10 wins. But we're going to get to that later. I don't want to make any predictions right now.
Undershorts on.
We're going. We're not going to make any predictions record-wise right now. Let's get to that later.